problems in life, drama, strife. Some things just go too wrong to be right. Not a fight, it's a war going on in my soul. Sometimes I bleed it on the pages with this pen that I hold. Then I suppose maybe tomorrow will be better than today. Said the same shit yesterday, still ain't in the bed to place hope for better. Today's be happy with a minute. Shit is feeling like a payback for a whole lifetime of sinning. I don't know, but it's got me feeling hopeless. Find it hard to keep my focus. Wonder why I spend my time drinking and smoking. But I gotta find a way to ease the stress. Everything just seems a mess. Everybody telling me I seem depressed. Now I'm losing my friends. They say I changed, not quite the same. They'd rather diss me than listen to me complain. Migraine, feel like my head might explode. It's just another day. I think that's just the way life goes. But I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. Looking in the mirror, all I see is a face with no future. Bottom of the barrel type, natural born loser who's a underpaid, overworked dude trying to make it. Every dime I make is taken. That's exactly what I'm facing. Occupation slowly eats away these hours I'm giving. Fuck with me, all I do is try to make an honest living. When you're doing the most and getting paid the least, it ain't a whole fuck of a lot I hear you saying to me. You're playing me, see, I'm damn near making minimum wage. You try to work me to my grave, damn it, give me a raise. Get out my face, stay out of my way, get off my back, you talking down to me. I hope you know you're about to get slapped. If I get access of shit, I already can't afford a stack of overdue bills and the baby I gotta support. I can't stand up for myself, feel like a modern day slave. Can't have a single thing I need, so I waste away. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. It's too much to handle. My life is in shambles. I feel so worthless. I'm thinking, do I have a purpose? All good on the surface, but inside it's uncertain. But there's one thing I do know, is that I can't take no more of this. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore.
Okay, this is Jimmy Jive, and you're listening to Motor City Rock Talk. Today, my guest is a guitarist that's played in numerous bands in the Detroit metropolitan area. He's currently playing out in Florida, where he kind of like comes back and forth. Some of the bands that he's played with in the past were Destruction Ahead, Harm's Way, Bones Garage, Motown Rage, and also he did some time, and probably still does in some way, I imagine, with ICP. Today, my guest is, like I say, guitarist and vocalist, Mr. Razor Ray. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, brother. How you doing? Thanks for having me out.
Oh, it's great, man. I really appreciate it.
I'm doing blessed.
Tell me a little bit about your background. In other words, where you're from originally and who may have inspired you to get into music, specifically playing guitar.
Right on. Well, you know what? I was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. And my mom was 14 when she had me, so she really was just a kid herself. Spent the first couple of years living with her before being taken into my father's side of the family, where I was adopted into. And there, stayed in Corpus Christi and was introduced to music really early on. I had a brother-in-law, Dave, brother Reno, and a couple other family members that would sit around and play the acoustic. And there it was, a lot of the music was Spanish. Tejano, that kind of flavor, which is cool.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
You get some country in there too.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I got into the junior high that introduced one of my best friends, Freddie, who turned me on to electric guitar, distortion pedal, and started teaching me all these Motley Crue, Metallica riffs, Saxon, Van Halen, Ozzy, Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee. Like, it was all of that. It was like, let's go. We're going to go see Metallica tonight. Metallica was at the Memorial Coliseum in Corpus Christi. It was going to be the second time to see them because we'd already seen them the first time when they came through with Wasp, putting up for Wasp on the Ride the Lightning tour. So Master of Puppets was like huge. And afterwards, we went to the backstage. Well, we went back behind the venue, and sure enough, they were by the tour buses and got all their autographs. Went straight up to Kirk and Cliff and then Lars. And then by the time I got up to James, I was completely starstruck. He gives me the autograph, and while he's signing it, I'm like, I finally got a rock star's autograph, said in total excitement. And he gives me his autograph, and he's pointing me in the chest. Don't ever call me a fucking rock star. It was a scene. Like, like all of a sudden, all my friends are looking at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And now I'm getting pissed. Like, now I'm thinking to myself, I'm about to come. Let me go call my brothers really quick. They'll be coming over here, and all I got to say is this motherfucker touched me, and they will fuck you up. Yeah. But I looked Cliff. I gave Cliff this look like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? And Cliff looked at me, and he gave me the coolest look of just nodding his head. He just kind of put his hand out like, just let it go. Like, he already knows he's had his, you could just tell he's seen this scene a couple of times already. So
he was serious?
Yeah, if it was just like, don't ever call me a fucking rock star. I'm just like, when I looked at Cliff, I was just like, whoa, this guy. And Cliff's just like, let it go, man. And I'm like, I'm just going to let it go. I'm like, and so I just said, I'm like, all right, sorry. What else can you say? But as soon as they got in their tour bus, they got in. We knew exactly where they were going. So we ran to the Holiday Inn where they were going. And literally, like, Cliff is getting off the bus when I'm running around the corner of the Holiday Inn, and he sees me, and I'm running up to him, and I go up to him, and I'm like trying to catch my breath, and he's like, did you just fucking run from the Coliseum? Metallica! Threw the devil horns up and everything. Right. And he was impressed. He's like, you got any fishing gear? I'm like, yeah, I got fishing gear. He's like, well, go get it. We'll go fishing. The water right there, the Gulf, Corpus Christi. I'm like, yeah, I'll go get it. Sure. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, I don't even have a car. I don't even know where am I supposed to be? Where am I going to meet you? I'm like, I didn't know anything. I'm 15. He's like, I'm going to be in this room right here. Just knock on this door when you get back. And, I'm like, cool, man. Sweet. I'm like, what's that you're drinking? He had this fucking yellow Dixie cup, and it was full of Heineken. He's like, Heineken, man. Sure. He gives it to me. Taste it. Kind of bitter. Give it back to him. He's like, no, man, that's yours. At 15, I get a drink from Cliff. I'm like, all right, bro, we'll see you later. Get home, all excited, getting ready to go get the gear and come back. And my sister's just like, where have you been? You're fucking 3 hours late, blah, blah, blah. It's hanging out with Metallica. Who's Metallica? And you're like, you're not hanging out with them. You're going straight to your room. Like, you should have been home. Like, I got in trouble. Couldn't I get out? I waited till they all left for work the fucking next morning. And at like 7 o'clock, first day of summer, I'm up and I'm walking over to my friend Freddie's house, getting him up, and we're walking to another friend's house, and all the way walking back to through the neighborhoods as we're making our way back to the Coliseum. There's about 9-10 of us that finally all get there, and we're there, and sure enough, we get kicked out for loitering after a few hours. So we get to the point where we can't get we can't be on the property, and we're watching these guys all coming out and going into the tour bus. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go take a chance. Took a camera with me and go, and Cliff comes out, take a picture of him. James, he can't open the fucking door of the bus. Like, the key's not working. He's clearly just hungover, just hangry. He's like, I'm like, James, let me get a picture. He's like, hold on. He's fucking wrestling around with the door, that's trying to get it open. And he's just like, fuck. I remember, like, he kicked the door, and I'm like, James, let me get a picture. And he turns around and he flips me off, like, snap. Fuck yeah. And I took off. We're thinking, wow, man, this sucks. They're getting ready to all leave. The bus is pulling out, and they honk, and we come on down, and they're like, hey, what are you fuckers doing? I'm like, man, we were hoping that we could get some pictures and shit, man. We wanted to go fishing, but that changed. He's like, well, we got to go sign out. So why don't you just meet us up front, and we'll take pictures with you guys. Wow. So sure enough, man, we got a bunch of pictures from Metallica that I took. And the final picture that I took was just like, it was going to be a picture of Cliff, who always sat shotgun in the tour bus.
Right.
And and I was at the steps of the bus, so I was going to take a picture from, below, and then Kirk walks by, and I'm like, oh, Kirk, man, let me get you in the pic with them, both of you, come on. And I was like, I grabbed that shot, and that was, obviously that was the last time I would ever see Cliff in this world. So a few months later, I had managed to get myself into enough trouble as a kid to get my ass sent to Michigan.
You sound like that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When all your friends and your family are there, you're just like, man, this was the worst.
Yeah.
To go get sent to Michigan. I was a runaway for a few months because I was like, man, fuck that. You guys are trying to kill me if you go. I'm going to die from cold weather or some criminal's going to shoot me.
Right.
That's your outside perspective of that's pretty much the perspective of anybody outside of Detroit. So that was just like, why you want me to send me there? He's like, you got to go live with your sister. So anyways, I went up to Michigan, and growing up in Novi turned me on to the whole trailer park culture. And going to school with South Lyon, that was a culture shock. But it was cool. I adjusted very well. Next thing you know, buddy of mine forming a band called Destruction Ahead. Formed it out of South Lyon. And right around that time, too, I was working at Burger King. So one of my fellow workers was Scott Donaldson, who was the drummer. 15 years old and really fucking amazing drummer. And so Destruction Ahead was formed from that time period. It was like our high school metal band. And we're doing things. We recorded a few records, a few albums. I shouldn't say albums, but demos.
Right.
One we got to do with Pete Bankert over at the old schoolhouse. Mm-hmm. So that was a great experience.
Yeah.
Around that time, too, it's like when we went to go see the Monsters of Rock and Metallica fucking playing the big stadium tour to the show. We knew what hotel they were going to be at, and it's like, let's go find them. Let's go check them out. So tracked them down, and I find Kirk at the bar. And he looks at me, and he just points, and he says, Texas. And I was just like, whoa, you remember? He's like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing up here? I'm like, I'm living up here now. He's like, cool, man. And I was just like, listen, I don't really know how to give this to you, but here, I want you to check this out. And I gave him that picture of him and Cliff. He's just like, got the whole, he's in the moment, got a good rock star vibe and everything like that. But, he looks at that picture and it just takes him right down that memory. And he just from like happy-go-lucky to like sullen, serious, and grateful. He was like, man, this is an awesome picture, and I was just like, that awesome picture's yours, brother. And he was just like, let me buy you a drink. I'm like, awesome, cool. He goes to his manager, Big Mick. I'm sure a lot of people in the industry know him because he's just like this giant of a tour manager, British guy. And I just remember Kirk saying, hey, what do you want to drink? I'm like, I've never had a Long Island iced tea, man. He's like, hey, Mick, get my buddy a Long Island iced tea. And I just remember Big Mick looking at him. He's like, what am I, your bloody bartender too, Mike? And I was like, oh, man, as a 17-year-old kid, this was just too cool. I was also getting my second fucking alcoholic beverage from Metallica while being underage.
Jeez.
It's just not something that too many people could brag about. But yeah, so right there, it's like Metallica, cool, doing a lot of shows right around that time at Blondie's, at the Marquee, and all those venues that are around. And Ann Arbor is like the city that we were based out of, so the Blind Pig and the Heidelberg were definitely our places to play that would just become outrageous.
Who were some of the bands you would have played with at that time out in Ann Arbor? I'm kind of familiar with Blondie's scene.
Yeah, you know what? There was a really cool thing that when I joined Harm's Way that I thought, wow, this is just great. And back then they had this Ann Arbor Coalition, which was Ann Arbor Band Coalition. So they called it the ABC. And it was just all local bands that would get together. Sundays we'd barbecue or some shit like that. Just do brotherly stuff, family stuff. Mm-hmm. But we were also supporting each other and booking shows and supporting each other's shows. So it was a cool movement. Mm-hmm. So bands like, oh man, Big Fun, Typhoid Mary. I remember Culture Shock. They were cool because they were reminding me of like the 24/7 Spies vibe. And then, of course, bands just a little bit outside of the area, like our friends in Coldest Life, we love to do shows with too as well. Yeah. We had some pretty good shows. I'm like, God, we used to do shows with a band called Battalion. That our old lead singer joined after he had left our band.
How did the metal scene at that time go over out in Ann Arbor? Because I didn't think it was really that known for that. I mean,
it really wasn't, right?
Yeah, the West Side area was more that.
Ann Arbor's not a hotbed for heavy metal.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
But it is, if you mixed, you know, I guess it was a hit and miss, you know, and it all depended on pretty much how you promoted yourself. So we used to promote really heavy. We'd do the promotion missions of like everybody get together, flyers. We
Right.
take this side of town, we take this side of town, and every fucking light you're gonna see a Harm's Way flyer. That was a thing, and we did it heavy like that. We noticed that Harm's Way, we got to like '94. We recorded the Kid Rock stuff with Kid Rock. We had sent it out to Psychopath, and they reached out almost immediately to us with just like, man, you guys, it's a great record. Fucking love you guys. Would love to have you guys open up for us, and we'd like to invite you to one of our shows. Check us out. So, you know, I remember going to Club Soda to see ICP for the first time and just really just like blown away by the amount of people that are already in line outside fucking painting their faces, having Fago fight. And it was a great show. And it was through our involvement at that time, right around then, we did a few really cool shows with them, and they had asked us to potentially be their opener for the Great Malenko tour. So this was going to be a big thing, and we were like, oh, fuck yeah, man, shit's about to fucking blow up. And then when they did finally go out, they ended up taking out House of Crazies, which later would become Twisted. And the thing was like, yeah, man, we wanted to take you guys, but because you're a band, you got all this equipment, it's just logistically, it's an easy thing for what we're trying to do. And I'm like, I get it, but that got us more in tune and keyed up to doing more events with them.
Was Harm's Way signed to Psychopathic? Because I know Motown Rage was, but I didn't know Harm's Way was.
Well, here's the thing, and there's a lot of people don't know this really, is that Harm's Way would have signed to Psychopathic if they wanted to have seen, or Motown Rage, I would say.
Right.
But that they looked at themselves more as like, we're more of a rap label, and we're more with this wicked stuff than we are anything else. Like, we have a niche, so we don't know how our fans would respond to you guys.
To me, that is kind of odd, because one of the bands that was signed to the label was Zug Island, and they were a rap rock group. Did Zug Island thing come after the whole thing with Motown Rage or before?
Yeah, it was. In fact, it was this right around 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. Violent J, you know, he asked me straight out. He's like, man, we want to sign you, but we don't want to sign your band. Just want to sign you as a solo artist. What do you think of that? And I was just like, cool. That sounds kind of cool. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, we want you to be our label's Kid Rock. He's like, you know, you play all the instruments. You can DJ. You can sing. You can rap. We would love to have you be that for us. I'm like, that sounds great. Fuck yeah, I would love to. He's like, all right, well, what do you think about hiring other musicians instead of the guys in your band? I was just like, well, I'm open to it, but wrong with the guys in the band. And they were just like not very clear on what was the problem, other than what started to feel like a tactic that was being utilized in the same kind of manner that they utilized taking the House of Crazies, breaking them up and forming Twisted. House of Crazies was a 3-man group. They left somebody out that was very instrumental, and it just felt kind of like, it's business. I get it.
Was this a power trip? You want to bring you in to compete, you know, as a competition with them for Kid Rock?
Right.
I mean, that to me sounds a little funny.
It was exactly that. As soon as I heard, like, we want you to be our label's Kid Rock, that was a red flag. Started throwing, like, what do you think about other musicians, like a new bass player? I'm like, dude, I've been with this bass player known him since I was 17, 18 years old. We're business partners in this whole thing. So.
And as rappers, they may not understand what goes on as far as the chemistry between musicians.
Dude, you don't understand how easy it is to fucking jam with these guys, and we can make music like that. You're trying to change that up. And so I passed on a solo deal to be a Psychopathic Records artist because I did not like that approach. But you're always like, what would have happened?
You got to be true to yourself.
Gone through that whole experience feeling a sense of I wasn't true to myself. So no, I don't regret it, especially when I'm like, who's still in my life? That bro right there from 17, 18 years old. Other guys, they would just get a call from when we need you. It's just business.
But then you do some actual, because I saw some stuff on YouTube.
Well, here's what happened
with
then
ICP.
Afterwards. So they were like, well, we can't sign you to our label as a Psychopathic. Maybe what we could do then is offer you a deal with Motown Rage and put you on Hatchet House. Artists like DJ Clay, you know, who was another artist that was on the label.
Okay.
And it was just kind of like, you know, like a sub-label for the label, which meant that they didn't have to do as much. They weren't going to do as much work for it, but you still be part of like like you could still consider yourself part of the crew. You're just not going to be up front. You're going to be in the way back. And that was okay. That was fine because as a band, we really came together. We recorded for that record. This was our second Motown Rage record. Our first one we had recorded, we did it all ourselves with our drummer at the time who had produced it. This time around, we actually had Nick Morris, who was working on it and was producing it. And just here's the thing is like we were told to go in the studio, record the record, and as we were recording it, right around the time that we're mixing it, they're just like, deal's off. No real reason, nothing like that. Like I always call them dudes bipolar because you'd be cool 1 minute and then fucking just like dick the next. And it just like hits me as like, man, you want to be mad at them, but at the same time, you also understand that that's a mental issue.
I didn't think they ran the label anyway, that they really would have had the power to say that or to do that, because Mike had told me, because I thought it was the same thing, like, oh, wow, those guys, Violent J, they're actually running the label. He goes, no, they had people running it for them. They were on it and they had other groups on it. So you're telling me Violent J himself was saying, no, the deal is off, or their management?
Well, if it's the label that's saying it, it's him saying it. He has the final say on it. The problem they ran into with that situation is that Nick Morris had contract for that record to record. He was holding them to the contract. He's like, I'm still going to get paid anyways, or I'll just take you to court. Clean, clear cut. And so they were like, all right, fine, we'll put you guys on, but we're only going to fucking sell your shit on the fucking online. It was a vanity deal. It's really what it was. But it still helped promote the band and got us out. We still had a lot of fun, made some great memories. I'm not upset with any of that. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Used to spend a lot of time fucking just chasing that dream of fame and fortune, and you're thinking that it's going to be how they do it in the movies, right? Or what you think, and it's not. It's pretty quite the opposite.
Well, stardom and fame, I've always thought this way. I mean, when I was young, I was chasing that whole thing too. But stardom in my mind and fame is it should be in your mind. In other words, what you feel has made you successful. You've been able to do this pretty much your entire adult life. So you're a success. You were able to do it more than a lot of other musicians and bands that have. So that's a positive aspect. And you're still doing it. How many people at your age or our age can still say they're out doing what they love to do and doing it their turn?
Definitely. I'm on that bonus time. And that really is what it is. I had honestly had so many brushes with near fame, like the whole psychopathic thing, being in Kid Rock's band right before he signed to Atlantic, playing alongside with Kenny Olsen, playing guitar, doing studio stuff with Proof, Eminem's crew. Yeah, I did a couple of songs with him, and he was after got done with the session, he was just like, Razor Ray, you're my guitar player from now on. I'm like, cool, bro. You just call me, you got my number, so I'm here. Then he gets himself killed, and it was always like there was always some sort of near type of situation of getting close to making it, like quote unquote, and then something tragic would happen, and I started to see the pattern. Back in 1999, I went to MTV for the Wanna Be a VJ 2 contest. It was the second year that they were doing it. When I flew into New York, at the time I was working with this marionette puppet troupe called the Geppetto-Files. My buddy Ted Talvidi and his brother Chris Talvidi, this was Ted's baby, and he just created just a whole world of marionettes that look like not wooden puppets, but they actually look more like cartoons. And I had got involved with him making music for his show, but he was always like, dude, you got the perfect voice you need to be my Lucifer. So he was like, he has a puppet, we call him Lou. He's like almost like a 2-foot puppet, devil marionette. He's like, he's gonna have a talk show and you're gonna be a talk show host. I'm like, okay. So I would do the voice of Lou, and Lou kind of talked like this, and he always liked to talk about his 25-foot cock that sat in the back of his fucking van because it was too big to drag around. That was Lou. And I took Lou to MTV for the Wanna Be a VJ 2 contest. And it was just so cool. It was so surreal being at MTV Studios, waiting forever, but then finally making it through the line and doing the actual audition. And I was the only one that showed up with the marionettes, so I knew I was going to probably get some time in there. Felt like I was bringing something to the table that was unique and different. And so sure enough, they ended up calling me back. So I bring that puppet, and I showed up the following day for TRL for a day of surreal. Just sitting in the green room watching all these people walking around. There goes Jesse Holmes. Oh, there goes Tyrese. Like there was all guys, all these girls that were just stars. oh shit, that's Joey McIntyre. So I did bring the puppet on and came out on TRL, and I was in the top 12 of the Wanna Be a VJ2 contest, which was like, okay, cool. Thought, man, this is it. I'm finally gonna make it, start my career here. And didn't get the job. Totally went for the girl that lasted for like 3 months, and then they gave her fucking papers too because she started gaining weight. Anyway, I think about that too, and I was like, man, that time that would have happened if I would have stayed, gotten that job, I would have been around New York City for 9/11. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, there's a reason why I wasn't there too. So it was always, like I said, like some sort of like almost near make, some sort of crazy tragedy. And honestly, it just got to the point to where you're growing up, you got family now, and you're trying to like support your family doing this and keep your dreams alive. But at the same time, it's like, man, I got to do real job.
Pay the bills, yeah.
So right around the time where Harm's Way went to a change, we changed up Harm's Way in the Life Sucks Get High clan because it was all about the weed and it was all about the rap and rock. And we were just kind of like, it got to be a really, like, when you have a crew that's big, it's hard to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
So we were trying to like just condense everything, took the Harm's Way song called Motown Rage and rebranded ourselves as Motown Rage. And that's right around that time is when Pantera was going through their own forms of rebranding into Damage Plan. I'd been friends with Dimebag Darrell, the whole crew really, but more so him ever since Cowboys from Hell days. I used to do this TV show called Video Underground that was on public access in Lansing, East Lansing, Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, and some of the downriver area community channels. We aspired to be like Headbangers Ball, but heavier. And it was through that I got to meet so many, got to do so many cool interviews. Like I got to interview Rob Zombie, White Zombie.
Wow, that's awesome.
Anthrax with John Bush and Pantera. When we're talking like the whole band in the shot. And I'm at Harpo's and the second album was just about to drop. So we're talking Pantera getting ready to fucking really, really blow up. I'm doing this interview with them and I turn to ask Dimes a question. And he fucking takes a piece of deli bread and he shoves it in my mouth. And I just like videotaping this whole thing, so I just have to keep it going, try to keep the energy rolling. I'm like, oh, white bread, Pantera likes white bread. It's good, and just kind of kept it going.
Play along.
So after the interview and everything, Dimes just like taps me on the shoulder and he's like motions for me to come talk to him in the corner. And I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he was just, you could tell he's got a nice, good buzz, and he's just like, man, I really like them shorts you wear. I'm just like, thanks, man. I just got these at the Cat's Meow in Ann Arbor last week, bro.
Where's this leading to?
Skater short, black skater shorts, the ones that are like really almost kind of like cargo-ish. And I'm like, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. And he's like, no, dude, you don't understand. I really like them shorts. And then I was just like, I'm like, you want these fucking shorts?
You want my shorts?
And when I said that, he was like, he gives me this motion of like, quiet down, man. I don't want people to hear. He gave me that motion, and then he's like, dude, you don't understand, man. Pantera, we've been on the road for like 8-9 years straight, and it's just rare, man, when I come across something like shorts that I like. I was just like, you like these fucking shorts? And he's just like, he just nods, like his eyes are like half closed and shit because he's got a good buzz. And then I'm just like, all right, you want these shorts? You can have them. Fucking took the shorts right off. I was wearing red sweats underneath because, it's the grunge period, so it was cool to wear. So I took off my shorts and I gave it to him, like, I'm gonna give you these shorts right off my ass, bro. Here you go. And he just like, his half fucking cocked eyes go full blown wide open. He's like, whoa. He's like, follow me. What? We go walk out the fucking Harpo's venue and then we go into the tour bus. I'm like, what's going on here? And he goes into his fucking, he grabs the duffel bag out of his bunk and he's like, my mom's just washed this. And he's like, it's down and fresh, dude. He sniffs it and he throws it at me, and it's a fucking Pantera Smoking Weed Across America t-shirt with a big old pot leaf on it. I smelled it. I was like, it is Downy Fresh. And then we walk back out. He introduces me to his manager, Guy Skies, and he's like, this is Guy Skies. He gives me Guy's business card. And he tells Guy, he's like, this is Harm's Ray. I'm like, he don't ever pay for a Pantera fucking ticket ever. And I was just like, wow, cool. And I didn't. I've never paid for a Pantera ticket ever. Anytime I wanted to go and see them, let's just make a phone call to their management, and they took care of me.
That's a crazy story, though.
That was the love that we would get from them guys.
That's crazy. Right.
And it was like that. It was like, shit, I can remember, I was just sharing this experience with a friend, seeing Pantera on stage. And this is right when they were getting ready to go on tour with Skid Row. So we're talking going from massive theaters now to arenas. They were on the road with Crowbar, My Sister's Machine, and somebody else, I can't remember. But they started having like this open jam kind of thing. Dimes is on the microphone, Phil's got the guitar, and then other guys like started showing up from the other bands with their gear, and Dimes gets on the mic and he's like, man, you guys trying to figure out what we're trying to do here is we're going to have an all-star jam. We're getting ready to go join the fucking Skid Row boys next week, so it's just like kind of cool for us to do. I was like, hope you guys don't mind. Everyone's like fucking cheered him on with approval. And he's like, but first we need to find a singer. And then he looks into the crowd. He's like, where's my dude from Harm's Way? And I'm like over here smoking a bowl, like in the crowd. I'm like, did he just say Harm's Way? He's like, where's he at? And I'm like, I get up on a couple of dudes, stand up on their shoulder a little bit, like pull myself up. I'm like, yo. And he sees me. He's like, there he is. He let that dude up on stage. He's gonna join us for our fucking all-star jam. So I like literally walk right through the crowd. Everybody just split like the Red Sea. And I get right up to the stage and Phil pulls me up, gives me the microphone. He's like, go at it. Cause I have some fun. You know, we did Paranoid by Black Sabbath, which was just fucking fun. But somewhere along the lines, I forgot the lyrics because I was just too fucking excited. I couldn't believe what was going on, bro. So I'm just like, at some point, I'm just screaming, smoke weed.
They probably like that better, man. You know, improvise.
Right, like exactly. Like, oh, okay.
He works good on the fly.
Back to what I was talking about, what led to this whole Pantera thing, Damage Plan thing, is that when they became Damage Plan and they were going, kind of having to start all over again, Dimes called me up late at night, said, hey man, we're going to be open. We're doing the fucking Harpos tomorrow. We're going to play the fucking Headbangers Ball with fucking Unearthed, Drowning Pool, and you guys should come and open up for us. I'm like, all right, cool, we're fucking there. So we showed up, got some really good video footage. Dimes and I kicking it, sharing some drink, some Crown. But it was that time we showed up, and Ernie from Harpo's is just being a real dick. He's just like, what are you guys doing here? I'm like, we're here to fucking play. He's like, no, you're not. You guys didn't sell any tickets. I'm like, dude, we got called from these guys to show up. I fucking look at Dimes and Vinny. I'm like, hey, man. I'm like, this dude is fucking telling us that we can't open up for you. They were like, hold on 1 second. They took Ernie's ass up to the dressing room for about 30 seconds. Because I guess they didn't have to say much. Ernie comes down and he looks at me. He's like, get your shit on stage. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you, dude. That's what I thought. Fuck that guy. He's one of the biggest reasons why I feel like Harpo's went just downhill. They treated people like shit. They're fucking bouncers to fucking beat the fuck out of the crowd. And they didn't take care of their fucking security to fucking make sure that you could come outside and not get shot or stolen fucking vehicles. So yeah, you know, shout outs to Roosevelt for fucking turning that around.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing I was going to ask you real quick, what was the reason for Pantera going a different name?
The reason was Bill was super fucking addicted to heroin at that point. And he was not returning calls to fucking try to get on the same page with them. Okay. And so what he would do, he'd just tell me, yeah, man, fucking complaining about his back, and then coming out with a down record, Super Joint Ritual record, just showing up just like one record after another that was not Pantera. And they started to see that, and they're like, man, dude, when you gonna fucking come along? And they gave him, like, when the record label was ready to fucking come down on Phil about all those things, Dimes was the one that was like, no, man, let him do those things. Let it get him out of his system so when he comes to us, he got it fucking pure. But that was never the case. That was Phil's excuse to go ahead and be the rock god heroin addict that everyone around him would allow him to be.
But why change the name? Why couldn't they have still gone on as Pantera?
They could have. I would imagine it would have been a big dispute, though. Like, at that point, you got Rex Brown.
Oh, legally?
Yeah, and I just really don't think that they wanted to tarnish the name. So when Damage Plan came out, Dimes was very, very much like, man, you guys got to come and open up for us and shit like that. So we did. You know, got some really good video footage of that event. Dimes was having a lot of fun at that time. And you could tell that with Phil not being around, he could be a little bit more himself and not have to fucking hold back anything. Because unfortunately, when you're around people like that you feel like you got to walk around eggshells on, it's just not fun to be around. But So, Damage Plan, they're playing at the machine shop, and we went ahead and just showed up with our gear. Like, we didn't get no call, like, hey, man, why don't you guys open up? But we were like, fuck it, let's show up with our gear anyways. What's the worst that can happen is that they'll say no. So we showed up, and Dom's like, oh, man, I can't get you guys on. There's too many bands on this bill already. And I'm like, that's all good, bro. We're coming here to fucking hang out with you anyways. So we're smoking down with him and with Kat, his drum tech, and we're in their trailer. Things have certainly changed for them. It's not the big Pantera fucking production anymore. This is starting from scratch. Hanging out. Dom's just like, man, you guys, we get done this fucking tour, y'all should come down to my studio so we can record some of your shit. Try to get some of your guys' fucking shit done so I can go ahead and take it to my record people. And he was just like saying everything that you would like, wow. Like it was a pinch me moment, like, and I wanted to damn cry. Like, bro, I'm serious. I'm gonna try to not cry in front of you right now because you're saying everything that I would have asked. And I thought, well, man, you guys can come on down, man. We'll fucking record that shit. We'll get you guys rolling. I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. Thanks. So we had a great time. We partied. About 2 weeks later, I'm on the internet and I look at the interview by Phil, and it's going around that's saying that the Abbott brothers need to be severely beaten and punished for the shit that they said about his fucking drug addiction. And when I read that, my fucking heart just hit the fucking floor, bro, because I felt like this premonition. And I called Dimes. I told him, I was like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with Phil? And he was just like, man, I don't even know that dude no more. He's like, dude, I've stood up for that guy for so many times when people wanted to kick him out and the labels wanted to fucking just put an end to what he was doing. And I just stepped up for him, man, and I just don't know the dude. And I'm just like, well, bro, where I'm from, reading some shit like that would make me very fucking defensive. If I read some shit like that, I'd be coming at him because I would be like, you saying some shit to me? I'm like, watch your back, bro. That is a straight up threat. And sure enough, what happened, bro? Exactly what I said as it would. I told him. I warned him, bro. So about a week later, I get a call. And he's like, hey, man, it's Dimes. He's like, you guys going to be on this show for the fucking machine shop? I'm like, man, I tried to get us on that bill, man, but they ain't giving us any fucking love. He's like, well, let me see who I got to get fired. I'll call you back. I'm like, okay. All right. So he calls me back following Wednesday. They're in Columbus. He's getting ready to play his final fucking show in life. And I can hear Vinny in the back, and they're talking, and they're like, hey, man, just call to let you know that you guys are on the bill for tomorrow night, man. So make sure that you bring the fucking bitch legs, bring the truth that hurts. It's one of our songs. Mm-hmm. Bring the JoJo Star Dancer. Like, we had this one guy who was like a dance interpreter, basically. All he did was headbang on the stage, but he thought that was just funny. He's like, bring your JoJo Star Dancer, bring the truth that hurts, bring all that shit. Right. And like, we ain't gonna have a lot of time to fucking hang out. We gotta fucking go to Chicago right after. So I'm like, all right, cool, bro. I love you, man. Thanks for getting us on the bill, and I'll see you tomorrow. He would hang up, and when he'd hang up, he always did a, like a shotgun thing, which is just weird considering how everything ended. So we're all excited. We're like, okay, cool. We're on the bill. We got to practice, make sure that we got this song fucking tight that he wants to hear. Cause the song Truth Hurts, that was a Harm's Way song, not a Motown Rage song. So we had to kind of bring it back out. So we did not go to that Al Rosa show because we needed to work on the drummer, wanting to get him tight. So called Meltdown. I tell Meltdown the riff, hey man, we're going to be playing with fucking Damage Plan tomorrow night. Gonna be fucking great, bro. And he was like, oh dude, Motown Rage Damage Plan, fuck, I'll plug that shit on the next fucking bit. Like, bro, thanks, man. Fucking hung up, turned the radio up, going down M14 from Livonia, or going from Ann Arbor to Livonia. Finally, Meltdown gets on the air, and he's like, wow, I just got this phone call. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. This is going to be this is going to be it, big fucking plug. And I turn it up. It's like, Dimebag Darrell has been shot on stage. I'm like, what? He is pronounced dead. We'll get more information as we find out. And I was like that. I was just like, what the fuck, man? That's not that's not what was supposed to come out of those speakers. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, man, he got to a point of like, dude, every fucking time we get close to some form of a level of success, it would be followed by this like grave disappointment. And it really was like that, bro. And it's just like, it got to that point where like, man, God, why you give me all this? Why do you bless me with all this talent and all this willing, just this energy to want to go and rock out? And then just, it's not like I'm not going for it, trying to do the moves, but what's going on here? And it just, and it really never made sense to me.
Well, Ray, I'm taking up a lot of your time, and I can see you've got something going on, and you got to get going, so.
We're getting ready to head out and get to the next place.
Yeah, I understand.
On to Orlando. Brother, I want to thank you for taking the time, though.
I really want to thank you for taking the time. Sid, I want to thank you so much for taking the time because I know you're busy and that we were able to finally get together and talk and do this. It's
definitely
been a great time.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the opportunity. And yeah, check out Motown Rage. Check out Rising Up Angry.
Oh,
and,
I certainly
check out
will.
my boy, Mr. Sadistic, too. He's doing his own rap thing as well, aside from Motown Rage. That's really cool. His son's Babytron. So his son's blowing up like mad.
Right.
Like he's just did a fucking video with Eminem. So he's doing shit. Yeah, so I'm like excited for him.
Yeah, that's really cool. But I'm glad to see you're still out and about and playing and all that.
Hey, well, brother, for real, I do appreciate this for the opportunity too, man.
Right.
Like I said, you get a chance, check out the Rising Up Angry stuff online.
I definitely will. All right, man. Well, you take care and stuff.
I am.
Hopefully we'll talk to you somewhere down the line. Maybe someday you come back, or time you come back to Michigan, maybe play something here or do something here. Meet up and chat a little bit more in person.
Sounds good. I would look forward to that.
All right, man. Well, you take care and have a good show tonight.
Thank you, brother. Good talking to you. You have yourself a good one, okay?
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, brother.
Quite a few bands like we discussed. Bones Garage, Destruction Ahead, Harm's Way, Motown Rage. He'd done some work with ICP. He had some real interesting and insightful life experiences, meeting Metallica as a youngster, the fun that must have been, his relationship with Dimebag Darrell, and he's had a very interesting life so far, and I don't think it's close to over. Hey, is that old stereo system giving you the blues? Maybe the receiver has a blown channel or the turntable just doesn't work right. Well, then you should visit my friends at 7 Grand Audio Service. They've been in business for over 40 years, located at 25642 7 Mile Road. The owner, Dash, and his assistant, Harry, can fix just about anything. Receivers, tape decks, turntables, EQs, power amps, and yes, guitar and bass amps. The phone number is 313-533-3635. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. Check them out and let them know that Jimmy sent you. Anyway, with that being said, as I like to always say, keep rocking.